Happy time, my damies, Top Cat here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are Raiden the Lightning God. As with our roaming super uptime buff, our arc staff is finally viable in all levels of activities. This is primarily thanks to that 30% damage increase that we do against champions and bosses. This has significantly moved the needle, particularly in our Grandmasters. Our light attacks used to do 32,000 against champions, they now do 41,000. Our heavy attacks did do 46,000, these now do 61k. And that heavy facepalm attack did do 109k and now hits for 142,000. Now what type of arc god would we be if we didn't pair this with the Raiden Flux? Its perk is Synapse Junctions. Our quick successive attacks with our arc staff increases our damage output, and it'll grant us a passive super drain to roughly double our uptime with it. Additionally, this Raiden Flux also saw a damage buff. Our stacks used to increase by 14%, they now jump up by 20. Pre-season this would max out at a total of a 50% damage bonus, but now we can get up to 72.8%. So our light attacks start at 42k and our heavies do 62. One stack of it we do 51 light and 75 heavy. Two stacks does 71 and 90, and at their max stack value we do 73,000 and 108,000. And for you hunters out there who like to combo it with that light heavy attack, we do that facepalm for 208,000. Now for any of you guys out there who have been using this super, I'm curious what interaction you have with that curative orbs. As in some instances, I've been able to pick up orbs I've been creating by breaking shields mid-super. It's not happening for me all the time, but it is happening, so I'm curious if anybody else is finding this. What this has been allowing me to do is take advantage of my better already and recuperation mods on my legs so I can get health back whilst attacking. I would highly recommend running that Ascension aspect. We can utilize those mid-super to jolt those overload targets below us Raiden style. After that, even in Grandmasters, they are easy pickings. Although not stated, if you jump and slam, this attack can blind unstopped champions. This might not be stated on the super itself, but trust it does it, and does it well. I also run this kit with a flashbang grenade. We've got that arc compounding mod in the artifact, so when our targets are blinded, we do an additional 15% damage. And yes, you can actually throw this grenade whilst you're in your super to debuff them before we even get to them. I'm running that flow state aspect, so when defeating a jolted target, we're going to make ourselves amplified for better movement speed and weapon handling. Whilst we're amplified, our dodge is going to regenerate more quickly, and we become more resilient whilst dodging, both with our standard dodge and our super dodges. I'm of course running that Gambler's Dodge to refuel our melee ability when we do so next to an enemy, and I got one Dynamo mod to reduce our super cooldown when we're using our class ability next to an enemy. Now normally I might recommend the combination blow, as it both heals and our damage grows in strength as we dodge punch. Unfortunately, it just saw a 17% damage nerf this season. It's practically useless unless you're running an activity solo or something in a lower tier where your teammates aren't going to steal your kills. I instead have actually been maining the disorientating blow for a little while now. Striking a target is going to blind them, but this will also amplify us. So even without the kill, we're still going to get our dodge back relatively quickly. With all these blind buffs and the artifact, it's definitely a good time to give it a go. With Spark of Beacons, whilst we're amplified, our special and heavy ammo weapons will create a blinding explosion. And we're going to take this further with Spark of Brilliance, so when defeating those blinded targets with precision damage, we create a blinding explosion. Although these might seem similar, Brilliance does a whole lot better AoE and doesn't require us to be amplified. The more flexibility we got, the more easy use we got. We're also going to be running that Retinal Burn in the artifact. Our rapid arc precision hits consume an armored charge to blind targets. This will allow us to unstop champions directly without the need of a kill. And using trace evidence, so our rapid precision hits or rapid final blows on a target affected by either blind or jolt will generate us an ionic trace. I've got one elemental charge mod on my legs, so we can get an armor charge out of those traces. Now I don't want to pigeonhole your weapon selection too much, but I've ran this build throughout the week and I've had great success with our arc shotguns, breach load GLs, particularly if you got it with bolt shot, but I'll definitely dig out a solid arc LMG for those precision shots. I'll often run double special with this kit, even in Grandmaster Nightfalls, but I will utilize a special ammo finisher on my class to do so. I'm running Spark of Resistance. This is going to give us a 25% damage resist when we are surrounded. I'm running that emergency flare mod. This is going to help my EMS mod in terms of its charge stacks. So when I get hurt at critical health, it gives me that 10% DR without sucking up all those charges. This way I can get back up to full charge quicker. If you're running that combination blow, run Spark of Feedback. That way you can melee that much harder. But I actually run Spark of Instinct primarily, so we can jolt any targets that get a little bit too close to us. Now feel free to pause here for all my mods, artifacts and fragments, but there will be a dim link in the description down below. Straight up, this stripper pole lightning god has never felt better. It always done great air clear, but it felt like you're pissing in the wind when it came to a champion. But now with this new champ buff and the ability to both overload and unstop champions, we just straight up demolish them now. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have you tried Spectral Blades yet? Make sure to thumb it if you dug it, sub if you're new, and as always, tippy time, my damies, what a tie.